Thanks for tuning in to the Mining Cabinet. I'm Drew. I'd recorded this video, or tried recording it last night, to upgrade the firmware on my two KS0 Caspa miners, and well, ran into some problems, so let's go over them. Basically, I have two KS0s. I just named them by their IP address. This is .90. It's about 2.5 weeks old. I bought it directly from Iceriver. This one's .89. I've had it for 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. I got it through Belay Mining. So I decided I would do this one first. So I unplugged it, plugged in a 150 watt power supply, because if you overclock, you're going to need more than the 90 watt power supply they come with to provide enough power. I was using some links from Mattio Daddio website. Was our YouTube page to the website for you need the latest Iceriver official firmware, and then to the GitHub for, I guess it's NCID He has 4 different versions of firmware: 160 gigahash, 150, 140, 120, and then also I also tried the T-Swift, which is supposed to be 160. What I didn't realize is through Silicon Lottery, this newer one just does not like any other firmware. Like I said, it would get 94 to 97 gigahash before, and that's it. It never would get 100. And if you can see down right here where I'm highlighting, I'm actually running the 120 gigahash firmware on this miner, and it did overclock it some. It's up to 104, but this is the only one I can get to run. The 140, 150, 160 or T-Swift firmwares only just sit here and look like this. They'll just say 0 accepted. It could be 10, 15 minutes. You know, one thing you have to do is you have to flash to the latest Iceriver firmware, then these overclocked firmwares. I've done that. I tried factory resetting it here. I tried factory resetting it by holding the button, then flashing the new factory firmware, then flashing the firmware. I tried it after I got this 120 gigahash version running, to then try the 140 gigahash. It just will not mine. I'm going to keep on. I've contacted Greater Good Mining in his Discord and had some conversations about it, so I don't know if it's just Silicon Lottery, which it could be. I know that Iceriver has sold out every batch of these, and so they may just be, you know, kind of quote unquote scraping the bottom of the barrel for chips. And, you know, I think their rating is 100 gigahash plus or minus 5% or 10%. So if it gets, you know, 91 gigahash or 90 gigahash if it's 10%, or 95 if it's 5%, they're shoving it out the door, which I don't blame them. They're perfectly within their right. There's nothing wrong with that. When I bought it, I didn't expect anything different. But now that we have these firmwares available, I like to take advantage, you know, because everybody else is. So if it don't at least keep up with the Joneses, my daily, you know, not daily emissions, but my daily rewards are going to drop even further. So I fought this for a while, finally realized that only the 120 would work. So I then did the 89, and it has the 160. I may be using T-Swift's version on this because it doesn't say 160 down here, but it is overclocked with 160. It's running 152. I think the pool is actually reporting 160, or it was a little while ago, so 153. I haven't been doing it 24 hours, so don't worry about the 24 hour. The 30 minute and 3 hours are more realistic. I haven't seen 111 on my end, but that's awesome, because before this would be like 96, 97. The dashboard would be 94, 95. So that's good. So, all right, so what you'll need is you'll need this page, and I'll have these links down below. You got to get the latest Iceriver KS0 firmware, download that to your computer. Then I'll have a link. This is the NCID GitHub. It has the 4 different, I guess, overclock speeds. He also has KS1, KS2, KS3L firmware in here. I don't have any of those, so I'm only worried about the KS0. And then there's a Google Drive. I'll have a link. This is T-Swift. He was one of the first people out there to really get into overclocking and come up with the other way of using Eclipse and basically SSHing into your machine and hacking it before they came up with a clean way to use the web updater. So kudos to him. So first thing you gotta do is download this. When you download that, let's go to downloads. You have to go to the Iceriver official firmware download. You download it, and then that you end up with so you end up with the zip file. You unzip it. There's your hash if you want to verify. I would open another screen, but there's your hash if you want to verify that the file is the one you're supposed to download. But you go to firmware upgrade. You select that file, which on mine it's under mining, KS0, where you've unzipped it, and you click open. Now, see there it says fake path. That kind of threw me off, but that's evidently some kind of bug. It works. There's no virus, nothing nefarious going on. That works. So the first thing you have to do, I'm not going to do it since I've already done, but you click on update. It'll take a few seconds. It'll say update, and then do you want to restart? You definitely want to restart. If it gives you the option to save your settings, I probably would not do that. That way it doesn't carry over, try to carry over anything and somehow lock in bad data. That's just my habit. Write down all of your settings, your pool, your, copy them, whatever you need to do, your pool, your CASP address. So then once you get that done, you go back in and you pick one of these. And I don't know which way you want to start. I started with 160, it wouldn't work, and I ended up, after I tried 160, I tried 150, it didn't work, so I said, what the hell, I tried 120. This is on the other one, obviously, and it kind of works. It gets like 107, but on the one that works good, I loaded 160, and it works. Like I showed, I'm getting 152. Same thing, you'll select it, click open. It'll say fake path. Again, don't worry about that. Click update. When it says update done, click OK, and then it'll ask you to restart. If it doesn't, physically restart it. Go into mining settings, put all your settings in. Don't forget to set your fans, especially on overclock. You're going to want to turn the fan up. I just run it at 100. They're so silent anyway. And you can see at 155 gigahash, the fan's on 100%. My temps are 44 and 60. I might try turning my fan around the other way right now. I think it's blowing away from the miner, I think. I know some people say the fans on the bottom suck in and blow out the top, so that you're sucking all the heat off. I don't think it really matters. I think it actually probably would cool better since there's so much more surface area if you're blowing down onto it, blowing cool air onto the case, because the case is a big heat sink, but I may try experimenting with that. Then once you get your overclock firmware on, wait 5 to 10 minutes. You should start getting accepted shares. You should see your hash rate come up. So what was happening on mine, on anything but the 120 gigahash firmware, is I would never get any accepted shares, or maybe just one. Nothing else would happen. No hash rate. After about 10 minutes, this would just finally show up. The blue line would show up and just be flat. Just on zero, it'd be flat. There's nothing going on. So again, I think it's just silicon lottery. Hopefully, T-Swift and people smarter than you or I will maybe come up with a different firmware, a newer version, maybe figure out a way to overclock these newer ones that don't really like to be overclocked, because I've seen and heard of other people have the same issue. After I overclocked this one, in case you're wondering, my watts are like 121, so the 150 watt power supply is fine. People talk about the 80% rule, but it's a power supply. It's rated to put out what it's rated. If it's rated for 150 watts, it'll put out 150 watts. Now it may run hot. Its life may be shorter than if it's not putting out 100%, but it's not going to melt and burn up. Again, though, I'm no expert, so don't take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Do what you want to do. I don't have any problem with the feeling of it. It's not super hot. It's warm. I mean, it is warm, but it's not burning me. So I would bet it's, I don't know, 100, 103 degrees. It's like hot water, but not scalding. So it's warm. You can hold it in your hand, and you don't have to play hot potato. So let's refresh, see if anything's changed. So let me show you what I've got on the power. I can also show you how I'm using my fans. I've got external USB fans. They are AC Infinity. I think one I've had forever. I bought it because I had a DLP projection screen TV that I replaced the bulb, and after the bulb went out, and after I replaced the bulb, it would overheat after being on an hour or two. So I put this fan on it, and I think it's a 140 millimeter fan. So the holes don't line up with the holes in the case of the KS0, but the cool thing is it's got rubber feet, and I just tucked them in under the little flange and don't even have to screw it on, and that's what I've done with the second one I bought, an AC Infinity USB fan with a 3-speed switch. Links down below. I tuck it in, even though only 2 of the rubber feet will tuck in. I don't have to buy long screws, don't have to do anything else. It stays on there. So I've got some pictures of that we'll roll to now. It's on the 160 gigahash. It's running about 152 to 154. And you can see the 121 watts. I did upgrade the power supply, which is kind of warm. It's upside down. Let's do this. Let's spin you upside down. I'll put a link to it in the video notes below. But 19.5 volts, 7.7 amps. We'll do a little mathematication. 19.5 times 7.7. This is a 150 watt power supply. So we're going to switch back over to the computer and finish this video out. As always, I'm no financial advisor. This is not financial advice. You have to do what you want to do, make your own decisions. Again, overclocking. Could you brick your unit? Sure. Could you burn something up? Sure. So that is a choice you make, and you make alone. But if you have any questions or issues, I'll be glad to see if I can help. Thanks for tuning in and supporting the channel. Please consider subscribing and stay tuned for more videos from the mining cabinet.